Osprey are different from other raptors. They have big yellow eyes, long legs, chocolate brown feathers against a white belly, and a strongly hooked beak. They soar, they hover in place, and they make stunning dives, plummeting into the water feet first. They're just beautiful. On top of that, they are ubiquitous, inhabiting every continent in the world except for Antarctica. They can be seen soaring over bodies of water, perched high up in trees, or on artificial platforms. They're technically a type of hawk, but definitely not your ordinary run-of-the-mill, typical-looking hawk. They don't fit the mold in terms of their diet either, as they consume fish almost exclusively. They go by the nicknames the fishhawk, the seahawk, and the riverhawk. Their scientific name is Pandion haliaetus, and within that are 4 different subspecies, each with differences in coloring, body size, or tail length. For the majority of ospreys, females tend to have a darker head and a darker breastband than males. This isn't always the case, as there are variations among the subspecies and even within each of those, depending on latitude. The best way to tell them apart, however, is by their size. Females are quite a bit larger, with an average of 15 to 20% more body mass than males. Osprey are piscivorous. A diet of 99% fish provides them with complete nutrition, and unless it's a very hot day, all of the water they need too. They are not particular about the type of fish they eat and are content with whatever is plentiful. Fish from saltwater, freshwater, or brackish water doesn't matter to the osprey, as long as the water is clear and free of pollution for it to locate its prey. The typical catch is 6 to 13 inches in length and weighs about half a pound. On very rare occasions, they will dine on fish carcasses, rabbits, small amphibians, reptiles, voles, and even birds. Now, this is interesting. Osprey are ambush hunters. They typically don't hunt from a perch, but from the air. First, they glide 30 to 100 feet above the water, scanning for fish. Once they spot one, they hover above it, flapping their wings rapidly as if gravity is no big deal. And then they make a swift vertical descent. Right before impact, they pull their wings back and extend their legs, revealing a fistful of knife-like talons. They don't skim the water's surface like a bald eagle does, but they actually dive down 1 to 2 feet. They commit fully to each dive with a singular chance to make a catch. Their success rate is about 1 in every 4 dives, with a good day being every 3 in 4. Everything about their anatomy was designed to make them expert anglers. Their feet are a veritable Swiss Army knife, fully loaded with all the tools needed to catch fish. They are the only hawk with a reversible outer toe. Instead of just having 3 toes in front and 1 in back, the osprey can voluntarily switch to having zygodactyl feet, or 2 toes in front and 2 in back. That's not all, though. Their foot pads contain small spicules, or tough, tiny little barbs, which give them traction to grasp slippery prey. Even their talons are unique. The talons on most raptors are concave with a groove on the underside, but on the osprey, they are completely round, allowing them to pierce the fish cleanly and deeply. When their talons make contact with a fish, it reflexively snaps closed at the speed of 1/50th of a second. To put this into perspective, that is 15 times faster than a human can blink. After catching its prey, it reorients the fish to head first, making it more aerodynamic to reduce drag. It also shakes its head and body mid-flight to remove the water from its feathers. Their beak is sharp and hooked, ideal for tearing through fish skin. Their nostrils, or nares, are located high up on the beak and have a valve that closes when they dive, preventing water from rushing in. And their eyes are tubular-shaped, each containing a high number of rods and cones and 2 fovea. This gives them tremendous visual acuity and long-distance vision that is 6 to 8 times better than humans. They have a translucent nictitating membrane, or third eyelid, which closes over the eye when they dive, providing protection and the ability to see underwater. The osprey's plumage is dense and oily and nicely waterproofed. The feathers on its long legs are short and stiff, nothing fancy or fluffy that would get in the way of its livelihood. The dark band of feathers around the eyes helps to absorb sunlight and reduce glare when flying over bright reflective waters. Osprey mate for life, each year returning to the same nest. The male usually arrives to the breeding grounds about a week before the female. They build their nests at the tops of trees, artificial platforms, cliffs, or other rocky structures. They look for wide open spaces that are close to a body of water. This provides them with good visibility, limited access from predators, and an abundant food source. The pair works together to build a new nest or add to the previous year's nest. The male brings sticks, grasses, algae, and other soft materials to the female, and she arranges them ever so precisely. Reused nests can become huge and very heavy, to the tune of 3 to 6 feet wide, 10 to 13 feet deep, and weighing 400 pounds. They have one brood per season, laying anywhere from 1 to 4 cream-colored, heavily speckled eggs. The eggs are incubated for about 40 days, and after hatching, it's another 55 days until the young fledge. Both parents busily tend to their growing chicks, making trip after trip to catch fish. I find it quite touching to see such powerful birds become so gentle and tender with their young. Juveniles have orange eyes, which will start to turn yellow by the first fall. Their dark brown feathers are trimmed in white. It will take 2 years for them to reach their adult plumage. From the beginning of nest building to the time the chicks fledge is about 4 months. That's a busy schedule for everyone, and to be able to wrap things up in time for fall migration in early September. Decreasing temperatures means less availability of fish, making migration imperative. The male usually leaves first, followed by the female and the fully grown chicks. They go their separate ways for migration, with the pair reuniting once more the following spring. The juveniles will stay on the wintering grounds for 2 to 3 years until they reach maturity, at which time they will return north to find a mate. Their migration is a lengthy and daunting one, anywhere from 3,500 to 5,000 miles. Osprey from Canada and the United States migrate to South America, and those in Europe and Asia migrate to Africa, India, and Malaysia. Osprey are truly remarkable raptors. I really feel an affinity for them, and I love seeing them return every spring. Do you have the osprey where you live? Let me know in the comments section down below. Thank you for watching. That's all for this time. I'll see you again soon.